Hey, Mega Moms. Jessica Hensley here with Real Estate Mega Moms, where we help moms create a life and a business that they love. And today I'm joined by Heather Keller with short-term sales blueprint. Oh my gosh, I knew I was going to say this wrong. Short-term sales blueprint, right?
Blueprint short sales.
Oh
Keeping
my
it
gosh,
simple.
I literally said it right before we went live. Okay. All right, so tune in today and we're going to learn all about short sales. Heather, thank you for joining us. I'm so excited to get to talk to you and just hear what you're passionate about. We were introduced, oh my gosh, maybe back in April. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah. I know we're busy moms, right? And so for us to finally connect, it was a while. But yeah, we've been talking for since spring probably.
Yeah. So Heather, we were introduced through email and Heather responded like right away. And I felt so bad. I was going through a move. Like you said, and now she's going through a move. So she can totally understand. But anyway, it took me a while, but when I got connected with Heather, I knew right away that she was the type of person that I wanted to introduce to you ladies. She is very clearly passionate about what she's doing, and that is helping homeowners navigate the short sale process. And a way that she can help more homeowners to do this is by educating realtors. So she's been educating realtors now I'll let you answer that question. How long have you been helping agents?
About a couple of years now. So I had this vision and passion to start this company because our ultimate goal is to help the homeowner. And we can't, Jessica, help the homeowner unless we first start with the real estate agent. And so I love that I'm on your podcast. Thank you so much because I love working with moms. We rock, right? And so my ideal agent to support and educate is a mom because we can really tailor our schedules to work around the kids. I got 2 boys, and so I absolutely love it. But yeah, so I founded Blueprint Short Sales in 2019 with the homeowner in mind. And in order to do that, it's to support and educate agents across the country. And so, that's where I'm at. Here I am.
Yeah, I love that. So we have people that listen to this podcast, various stages in their career. Some, like myself, have been licensed for 20 years. And some of our moms in real estate, they're maybe a year or two in the business. And so, the last 3 or 4 years has been an unusual time in my mind in real estate, right? It's definitely been a seller's market. And you had this equity that was kind of built in automatically to houses. You'd sell a house and then the next month it was already worth 5-10% more. And so I feel like our audience, some may not really even know or be aware of what a short sale is. So can you just kind of explain what's the definition of a short sale and who would want to take advantage of this?
Yeah, great question. So a short sale means that someone, the homeowner, is behind on their mortgage. Okay, Jessica. So give you an example. Let's say that someone owes $250,000, and in reality, the property's only worth $200,000. So you complete a short sale. The bank says yes to $200,000, and they are short in the amount that's owed. So they're shorted that $50,000. Okay. Now, back when I started these short sales, 100% of the time when my phone rang and it was someone that needed help, we knew it was a short sale. It's different now. So people watching this, agents out there, your mega moms are probably like, well, there's no short sales. And that's like half and half. And so what do I mean by that? That just means that there are still a lot of families across the country that are struggling. And you may not hear it as much because these families have equity. And so what we're trying to do right now is educate the homeowner across the country to come to my team, to let us help you explore those options. They may be able to sell and pull that equity out. It's still complicated though, because they're behind on their mortgage. They could have other liens or judgments because they can't make the payments, or even IRS tax liens. So I would say, even though the market is the way it is, it's very tricky when it comes to distressed sales right now because we're not sure 100% if it's a short or if it's an equity sale. Make sense?
Yes, it does. I know I was telling you when we talked originally, I've probably dealt with a handful, I would say less than five short sales in my career. So it feels to me like, unless you're going to specialize in it, it's it's something that was pretty rare. Because, and I will say this, I feel like maybe more people, if when it comes to that, would take advantage of a short sale if they knew that it was an option rather than going to the foreclosure bankruptcy route. But because they're not educated and they don't even know that of course, a bank's not going to advertise the fact that they have this kind of built-in path for those that qualify, that they're willing to forego some of what is owed. But in my experience, the five times that I did it, it was a very complicated, drawn out, long process. And I will say I probably discouraged people from even going that route because I didn't feel capable to advocate for the client to the bank.
Yeah, so there's a lot of agents. I mean, short sale, the niche of short sales, distress sales, it's not going to be for every single agent. Me, I've always had a really big heart, and I knew growing up, like, hey, I want to make a difference. I want to change lives. I didn't know what it would be. And this may sound silly, but that's a reality. And I'm helping families. And so I would love to meet other agents like myself who truly believe in holding the seller's hand and moving on to the next chapter. But you're absolutely right, Jessica. There's so many homeowners across the country that will turn to the internet and get bad advice, sometimes even attorneys. And most of the time, real estate agents or brokers, whatever you call yourselves, they ask them for advice and they don't know how to properly answer it. So that's why Blueprint was founded. Those main reasons is because of with the homeowner in mind. And so if you are an agent out there that you're like, I'm tired of dealing with buyers, I want to take on more listings, but there's too much competition in my area, or I'm a mom and I need some flexible schedule, or I have a heart, I want to help, then this may be the niche that you could take on. It's not something that happens overnight, but back when I started, the banks had no clue how to handle this. Anyone remember Countrywide? Do you remember Countrywide? Yes. It took us a year to do our first short sale with Countrywide. It was a nightmare. I'm surprised we did not run from that deal after that one. Anyways, we stuck with it, and my husband and I started these actually. And so we grew together. We grew with the banks. And so now we have a great system that we utilize every single day. And so I really believe in a simple system, simple over complex. Short sales have a lot of moving parts, and so you got to keep it simple.
Yeah, so I can see from the real estate agent's perspective, if you are having a hard time, deciding what it is you want to focus on, maybe just in general, don't have enough leads or opportunities coming your way. And I will say, just that thought process is really a oxymoron because there are plenty of opportunities and they can come your way. You just have to do little activities. Certain activities consistently will bring you business. But anyway, that's kind of another podcast topic. But if you are in that situation where you're thinking, I need to get business and I'm looking for something to focus on, I think that this could be amazing. Not only could it help you find more sellers that truly and genuinely need your help and would be grateful for your help, but also, attracting investors as well, right? So if you're able to find these properties, correct me if I'm wrong, Heather, but if you're able to find these distressed properties that the seller is, kind of in a hard position, maybe there's work. I would say most of the time when someone's going to take advantage of something like this, there is work that needs to be done to the house. There's deferred maintenance. There's, things that they just can't afford to do. So their options are foreclose or short sell. And if you're finding that type of a listing and that's a way for you to attract investor buyers, right? That are willing to come and rehab a home.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I always tell people, and if you've listened to any of my stuff before, every situation is completely different. And so, inside of what I do, I really, really want to teach these agents how to sit down and analyze every situation. Me personally, if the property is in really rough shape, which you're right, Jessica, a lot of times there's a lot of deferred maintenance. Then yeah, we may have to ask for a cash sale only and find an investor. That does happen. However, an investor is going to pay less for a property than a homeowner. So someone who wants to live there. And so I do prefer to find a family if the property is not in that rough of shape, because it's going to be a lot easier, in my opinion, to deal with the banks. Back in the day, I worked with a ton of investors because you could get these properties for like pennies on the dollar. It's not 2008, 2009 anymore. And people always say, what's going to happen with the market moving forward? And I always say, I don't think it's ever going to be like it was then, Jessica, but there's going to be an influx. How do I know that? Well, I've been tracking data. America's in debt, bankruptcy, Chapter 13s are on the rise. And so if you're looking to get into a niche, this is a perfect niche, especially for moms. Whether you want to take on the niche of short sales or not, my biggest advice for agents, especially brand new ones, is pick something. Pick something and stick with it. Don't be going over here, over there, over here. It's just too much. You get confused. It's overwhelming. You get frustrated. And so my biggest advice, I know this is short sale based, but just pick something and run with it.
So who would be the perfect candidate, real estate agent wise, to focus on short sales as their niche?
Yeah, good question. So I would say there's a couple difference. Now, there's new and seasoned agents right now in my partnership program. And so the seasoned agents, they just want something new. They've been doing something for a while. They like the fact that they can take on less buyers. And so we all know, look, buyers are not a bad thing, right? It's nice to sprinkle them in here and there, but they're very time consuming. And so for me, I just hand them off to a buyer's agent now because I want to be with my kids in the evenings and the weekends. Someone who wants more listings, whether they're new or seasoned, everyone wants listings, right? Listings are leverage. And so if you're in an area like I'm in Chicagoland, it's very competitive to get listings. There's little to zero competition with distressed sales because agents think, one, you can't make any money, which is false. And two, they're too difficult. Well, if you have a good system and a community behind that system, it's not difficult. Okay. And so, yeah, anyone that's looking to take on less buyers, more listings, or I always say a super flexible schedule because I know you're with mega moms and I love dealing with the moms, but I work in my kids' schedule. So I dropped them off this morning. I work from 8 o'clock till 3, and then I pick them up. And so if I take an evening appointment, it's on a case-by-case basis. I will do Saturday mornings, but Sundays for me are no. No, it's family time, church time, football in the fall and winter. So it's very flexible, and you can really tailor that because these homeowners that are in a distressed situation, they are just desperate. And so they'll work around your schedule.
What advice would you have for someone that wants to get started? I mean, obviously you have a coaching program and a course, but maybe they just want to know, let's just dip my toe in and see, how would you have them? What are the steps to get started?
So I love to educate. I love to talk. I could probably sit here and talk all day with you, Jessica. I do have a couple of free groups. And so I created a short sale boot camp. And so it has 10 different modules, lots of different downloads of short sale intake sheets, some Facebook ads that we've ran. And so that is a free group they can join to kind of see, okay, do I want to do short sales? I want to learn a little bit more. So I have that. And then I have a free group as well, where we go live every single week and do some sort of training. yeah, those two things I would say to start out with, to see if like short sales is something you want to do.
Yeah, I love that. I'm gonna have to download that. I didn't realize you had that boot camp. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna dive into that, because here's my thought process. So Heather, I probably will never like totally niche in short sales, but what I like to have is options. So I do deal with like lower income, lower valuations because of just where I'm located. I'm located in Southeast Kansas. We don't have a ton of jobs here. It's just, so you have kind of a varying income and price point. And so, in fact, like tomorrow, I'm going to be talking to a guy that, um, from my conversation with him over the phone, it sounds like there's some deferred maintenance on the property and maybe even like a little bit of hoarding going on. And so, it'd be great to go into his listing appointment and give him options and just provide him with education. So that's why I'm personally interested in learning more about this and learning from you, Heather. I love your heart. So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to throw that out there. Yes, I agree with you. Pick something niche, but I also think this can be a tool in your tool belt.
Yeah, actually, thank you. I should have said that. So, if you're just an agent, a buyer's agent, and want to learn more of like the questions you can ask to a listing agent when it comes to a short sales, or you just want to be able to intelligently speak to sellers and buyers about the process, then yeah, the boot camp, my free group, would be great. Maybe there's another agent that you're friends with across the country and they want to do short sales, and then just refer me over to them. But yeah, we have the free group. And then if you've dabbled in it and you're like, wow, I really want to make short sales or distress sales my niche, I'm not saying don't do other stuff. But what I tell agents is if you do these the right way, it could lead to long-term business for you. So that just means, hey, I did a short sale for a client and 2 years later they came and bought with me. And then, 4 years later, they decided, hey, I'm leaving the state of Illinois. Let me sell. So they are forever grateful for you. And so do I do other business? Yes, but it has all been from past distress sales.
Wow. So I remember when we spoke a month ago or so about this, you were telling me that what you're showing people how to do is how to find the distressed sell properties, how to contact them, what to say. Is that right? Like scripts?
Yeah. So I'm not a believer in scripts. Especially in this situation, but I do have an intake sheet and we have trainings on what you should do. Mostly you should just listen. But the partnership program is basically taking what I have done here in Chicagoland and mirroring it in wherever you're at. Okay. So you're going to be the Heather Keller in your area. So that includes daily task, weekly task, monthly task, yearly task, social media, website, email campaigns, all of my direct marketing. I'm always secretly working on things behind the scenes. I wrote a booklet that you would have access to, how to contact banks, how to do value disputes, how to remove IRS tax liens, you name it, it is inside there. And we do live trainings, 6 live trainings a week. Everything's recorded. So it's really helping the agent get educated and supported. Because if not, what are we going to do? These homeowners need our help.
Right. Heather, I'd love, just with the last 5 minutes that we have, I'd love to hear more about your story. How you kind of stumbled into this, and then also what does your life look like now? Because you've talked already about your flexible schedule and you have this repeat business. So what are you averaging every year? What's your schedule look like? Give us kind of a glimpse into your life.
So it's funny you say that, Jessica. I have never told my entire story. That would probably be for another podcast.
It's not 5 minutes, is what you're saying?
Yeah. My husband and I have a very unique background. I'm sure once I do tell that story, it's going to be a sobbing fest. So my husband and I started these in 2007. I'm just going to give a quick overview. We were working in mortgages and we wanted the best of both worlds. We knew we wanted to get married and have kids. And so we started a company back then. You didn't have to be licensed to do these short sales. We were purchasing them, sometimes rehabbing in. I mean, it was just kind of a hot mess back then. But like I said, we really grew with the banks. And then 2014 hit, our youngest was born, and my husband came to me and said, hey, I want to start this other business. I don't know. Again, this is a podcast, not for mega moms, but he opens up sports cards for a living on YouTube. And I was able to support our family after just having our second son while he created his dream and took his dream to a reality. So I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't have short sales. Okay. Look, consistency is key. So with consistency, organization, and communication, I'm making anywhere from, 150,000 to 350,000 a year. It really just depends. And I do show some of that to prove that, hey, you can absolutely make six figures in short sales, but it's been over six figures for many, many years. We met a lot of bad people in this industry, unfortunately, that took advantage of us. And we went through some hard times. Like when we started, my husband and I we weren't even married. We were eating dollar cheeseburgers and could barely afford that. We were running from our landlord because we couldn't pay rent, but we just kept plugging away. And we knew if we stuck with it and we were consistent and believed in ourselves and not what everyone else was saying, that we would get to where we want to be. And so here we are now. We are 9 days away from moving into our dream home that took us almost 2 years to build. We designed everything. They're actually putting in the driveway right now. And so if anyone out there is watching this, my biggest advice is just to pick something. But you absolutely can make a living in the niche of short sales and also help so many families. It is so rewarding to do that. And so hopefully that's just a little bit of my story. But I would love to inspire others to just run with it. Like if I would have listened to people back in the day, they said, don't do short sales. It's not going to work. They're not going to be around. Short sales have always been around. And if I listened to those people, I would not be where I'm at today. So, yeah.
Awesome, Heather. Thank you. I wish I would have asked you that question in the beginning, but I mean, the other information was great. And I want people to understand like what short sales are, why they should consider it, how it's going to be beneficial for their business. But I want to hear more about your story. So you're going to have to come back on the podcast sometime. And then I know we already have it scheduled that you're going to be doing a special training, maybe like an hour-long synopsis of your boot camp or something like that in our inner circle. So I think we're thinking maybe like October, November for that after you get settled in your house. So yeah. Thank you, Heather. Any last words?
Thank you so much.
How can they find you? What's your handle on social media?
Well, if you just go into Facebook and type in Blueprint Short Sales, we'll come up. Or they can send me an email, info@blueprintshortsales.com. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube, mostly Facebook. But if you just type it in, you'll find it. But yeah, email's probably best, or sending me a personal. You can find my personal Facebook and send me a message there. But would love to add you into the free boot camp or our other free group, just so you can dabble in and see if it's what you would like to do.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Heather.
Thanks, everyone. Have a blessed day.